and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע, ושפתי מדבר מרמה. ולמחללי נפשי תדום, ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי, אלוהי. אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע, ושפתי מדבר מרמה. ולמחללי נפשי תדום, ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי, אלוהי. לשוני מרע, ושפתי מדבר מרמה. ולמחללי נפשי תדום, ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי, אלוהי. טח ליבי, לשוני מרע, ושפתי מדבר מרמה. ולמחללי נפשי תדום, ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי, אלוהי. אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע, ושפתי מדבר מרמה. ולמחללי נפשי תדום, ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי, אלוהי. יהיו לרצונים רעפים, והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני, אדוני, אדוני צורי.
Shabbat Shalom, welcome. I'm Rabbi Jonathan Blake. I'm joined tonight by Cantor Danielle Rodnitsky, who is the brand new assistant cantor of Westchester Reform Temple. She was ordained a cantor from the Debbie Friedman School of Sacred Music of the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion just 2 months ago. And we're so thrilled to welcome Danielle to our Westchester Reform Temple family and community. And so from our homes to your homes and wherever you find yourself, which you have made into your home during this strange and disruptive time, we welcome you. We wish you Shabbat Shalom. Why don't you take a moment and greet any other people with whom you might be sharing company on this Shabbat. Wish that person Shabbat Shalom. Maybe even wave at your screen so that the entire congregation knows, those of us who are viewing you through our own laptops and devices, that we are in fact surrounded by love and caring on this rainy night. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Throughout our service tonight, we're going to be highlighting the voices of women composers. Now, you heard that I announced that Cantor Rodnitsky is a recent ordinee of the Debbie Friedman School of Sacred Music of the Hebrew Union College, the cantorial school of the Reform movement's flagship training ground for Reform Jewish professionals. Is our beloved Debbie Friedman, who of course was a service leader and a dear friend to all of us at WRT before her untimely death a little bit over 9 years ago. So you'll be hearing Debbie's music tonight, but you'll also be hearing other female composers. We'll make sure to highlight them. We opened with Hine Matov by Ilana Arian, who's a wonderful Jewish musician who happens to be part of the spiritual leadership team at Central Synagogue, where Danielle was up until very recently a cantorial intern. All of this in honor of the voices of women that are elevated in this week's parasha. You'll hear more about that tonight when another member of our congregation, as is our custom during the summer, Dr. Darlene Lefrancois, holds forth with her own remarks by way of a Devar Torah. So you'll be introduced to some of the women whose voices are lifted up with strength in this week's parasha. We're going to turn now and invite you, if you have candles to light, a way of bringing a little bit of warmth into your homes on this Shabbat, that you can do so with me at this time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
And now we continue again with Debbie Friedman, our beloved Debbie Friedman, and this Shalom Aleichem, one of the last pieces she was able to compose before she passed away. The angels on Shabbat join us and we bless them. We say, come in peace, bless us in peace. And when you have to go, which we really don't want you to do, go in peace too, but know that we'll already be looking forward to the next Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Shalom. continue with Lecha Dodi. Now that the angels are all around us, we can join together in our sacred wedding, this sort of high point of our Shabbat, but a union between the Jewish people and God. La la
throughout our service, we occasionally will invite you to rise or be seated. Of course, we mean rise if you are so moved, rise if you are so able. We lift our song, our voices, and maybe our legs too, as we are called to prayer for Baruch Hu. So we are now in a very critical 3 weeks to come. Yesterday was Shabbat Tammuz. That's Hebrew for the 17th day of the month of Tammuz. And for the next 3 weeks, we are on a rocky road that leads us on our Jewish calendar to Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, which is the day on which our calendar commemorates innumerable tragedies that have befallen the Jewish people, chief among them in the rabbinic imagination, the destruction of both the first temple in 586 BCE and the second temple, this time at the hands of the Roman Empire in 70 CE. For the rabbis, all Jewish tragedy was consolidated into a single day in which fate had conspired against our people, assigning us to our tragedy. But the rabbis also commented that it was not just fate, it wasn't just outside circumstances, it wasn't just the power of enemy empires that did us in at these important moments in Jewish history. Rather, the rabbis say in the Babylonian Talmud, it was sinat chinam. The words mean baseless hatred. Sinat chinam, baseless hatred between and among our people, from one Jew to another. The Israeli scholar Isaiah Gafni has commented that when it comes to sinat chinam, it's always somebody else's transgression. I'm never guilty of sinat chinam, it's always the other person. And that's exactly the problem. Sinat chinam begins with a failure to listen and recognize the humanity and validity in another person and another person's point of view. So I'm going to suggest that the next 3 weeks may be consequential not just on the Jewish calendar, but on our American calendar as well. We've just come through an Independence Day that, at least in terms of the public discourse, felt to me like a nation divided and not a nation united. It feels to me, from the headlines I'm reading, from the news I'm seeing, from the conversations to which I'm a witness, if not always an eager participant, that we are overflowing right now as a nation and as a world, maybe even as a Jewish people, with a surplus of sinat chinam. This ancient scourge is actually not only nothing new, it's perpetually with us. So let's work on converting sinat chinam to ahavat chinam, freely given love. May our love supplant our tendency to hate. May our openness to others allow the closing up of our ears and our feelings to be released. And let us therefore be able to acknowledge what our evening prayers always acknowledge, that we praise a God of ahavat olam, a God who gives and gives and gives of love, eternally, forever. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose gift to the Jewish people is the gift of ahava, of love. And now we'll join together in offering a lovely melody for Shema, one by Debbie Friedman. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam Vaed. If you've been standing this time and would like to be seated, you may be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meotecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'aderech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beineinecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, Vitem kedoshim le'Elohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, li'ol lachem le'Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem.
As Rabbi Blake mentioned, we are on this rocky road in these 3 weeks leading up to Tisha B'Av. There's another name for these 3 weeks. It's called Bein Hatzarim, in between the narrow places. And the root tsar can also be found in the Hebrew word Mitzrayim, our word for Egypt, our place of narrowness and slavery. And so as we walk together towards immense narrowness with Tisha B'Av, we can remember back to this part of our story where we see the other side of the sea. We see the expansiveness and the freedom that's awaiting us. And maybe all we need to do is to take some of that ahavat chinam, take one another's hands, marching together, and call back to the people walking behind you to say, I see the way ahead, and it's safe, and I'm here with you, and I will walk with you. כיפת אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Let's try that. Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת. We continue with our Amidah, and if you would like to and you are able, you may rise. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehillat ata Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Ve'Konei Hakol Bezocher Chastei Avot Ve'imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch Ata Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atarav Lehoshia Morid Hatal Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Ve'Rofeh Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Baal Gevurot Umidom Elach Melech Memit Umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol Baruch ata Adonai mechayei hakol Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh U'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah Baruch ata Adonai ha'el hakadosh. We now take a few moments of private reflection, the prayers of our hearts. Yehiyu leratzon imre fi ve'gion libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri ve'goali Adonai Adonai tzuri ve'goali Adonai tzuri ve'goali May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable
So once again, Shabbat Shalom. I'm so happy that you're choosing to join us over our live stream tonight. What is now a few months ago, at the start of the pandemic as it was reaching our community, I shared with the congregation an impassioned plea, a note penned by a congregant whom I described as a physician on the front lines of treating the COVID-19 crisis. She, that physician, is our congregant, Darlene Lefrancois. And after the incredible response to your words, Darlene, I knew that I had to ask you back for a speaking responsibility on one of our Friday night Shabbat services this summer. As is the custom of WRT, we invite members of our community to offer a few remarks, both with an eye toward the Torah portion, but also very much with an eye toward one's personal or professional experience that one could bring to bear on the wisdom of the Torah. Truly, Judaism is a merger between Torah and lived experience, and this is more than just an academic exercise. This is lived Torah. But of course, I don't need to teach Darlene Lefrancois or the members of her family about lived Torah because they walk the walk every single day. So I'm going to share a few words of brief biography about our speaker tonight, and then allow Darlene to hold forth with this week's Devar Torah. Darlene Lefrancois Haber has been practicing as an internal medicine physician at Montefiore Medical Center in the Bronx for the last 25 years. She also serves there in the role of Director of Education for the Internal Medicine Residency Program, which is one of the largest programs of its type in the country, where she teaches extensively, develops and oversees the education of the medical residents as well as junior faculty, and also conducts and mentors research in medical education. Darlene graduated from Brown University's combined 7-year program in liberal medical education, receiving her undergraduate and medical degrees before completing her own medical training and chief residency in Boston and Philadelphia, respectively. Darlene grew up on a rural southeastern Rhode Island coastline. I was actually just on the rural southeastern Rhode Island coastline a few days ago over the holiday weekend. My parents live in East Greenwich, Rhode Island. But since 1994, she has resided with her family in Scarsdale. She currently serves as chair of Scarsdale Forum's Sustainability Committee and the co-chair of its Climate Resilience Committee. Her husband, Warren Haber, who is treasurer of Westchester Reform Temple, and Darlene, and their triplet 21-year-old daughters, Rachel, Abigail, and Naomi Haber, whom you may have seen in recent previous weeks' broadcasts on Friday night, have been active members at WRT for over a decade, initially joining Sharing Shabbat when the girls were in 3rd grade. Yeah, I have to tell you, that's actually getting closer to 2 decades now, Darlene. So, thank you for being with us, Darlene, to offer a few reflections on Parshat Pinchas.
Thank you, Rabbi. And Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm so pleasured to be here. Thank you for having me. So the portion Pinchas opens when God is seemingly rewarding Aaron's grandson Pinchas for his act of zealotry in killing an Israelite man and his lover, a Midianite woman. God responds to this deed by making Pinchas a priest and ending a plague. Then there's a census which is conducted and counts 601,730 men over the age of 20. And Moses is instructed on how the land is to be divided amongst them. In a revolutionary moment in biblical history, the 5 daughters of Zelophehad petitioned Moses that they be granted the portion of the land which had belonged to their father, who died without sons. God accepts their claim as just, grants their request for inheritance, and modifies the inheritance law of the Torah accordingly. It's striking that these women effectively stand up against this example of gender inequality and insist on a solution. Their progressive petition to Moses rights this injustice and now will help all other women in a similar circumstance. These daughters are change makers. They're brave and they are leaders. More on leadership. God then says to Moses, ascend these heights of Abarim and view the land that I have given to the Israelite people, When you have seen it, you too shall be gathered to your kin, just as your brother Aaron was. While Moses could look down on the promised land, having led the Israelites on an arduous 40-year journey to this border, it wasn't going to be his job to lead them further. That job would belong to the next generation. In response, Moses said to the Lord, "Let the Lord, source of the breath of all flesh, appoint someone over the community who shall go out before them and come in before them, and who shall take them out and bring them in, so that the Lord's community may not be like sheep that have no shepherd." Moses wants to protect the Israelites, and as a shepherd would, ensure their safety and welfare. It is said that a true test of character comes not when you can expect a light at the end of the tunnel, but when you see no light coming. In this powerful and moving Torah moment, Moses' true character is revealed. He is focused on the Israelites' plight rather than his own. He requests of God, shows compassion, empathy, love and kindness, vision and generosity. One of the soundest pieces of advice I was ever given came from my sister 2 years ago when I was going through a difficult time. Knowing my struggle, she suggested I pray for clarity. Well, as I have experienced it, crisis begets clarity. That is, there's nothing like a crisis to make things crystal clear. Stress testing gets us to return to the fundamentals of who we are and why we are doing what we are doing. Clarity is born regarding what's essential and what is not, what is productive, what is not, what is meaningful, what is not. And this clarity is good. Clarity brings focus and purpose, which propel us forward. When I read this passage, when I read Moses' response to God, I see a man who is likely no stranger to crisis. Maybe it's that 40 years of wandering in the desert with thousands of rebellious and stricken Jews. Sounds like a crisis to me. He wants to ensure a genuine and benevolent leader, someone who's got your back and leads from the front. Moses emerged from crisis with clarity, focus, and purpose. And the Lord answered Moses, "Single out Joshua, an inspired man, and lay your hand upon him. Have him stand before the priest and before the whole community and commission him in their sight. Invest him with some of your authority." Moses did, of course, as the Lord commanded, taking Joshua before the priest and before the community. He laid his hands upon him and commissioned him as the Lord had spoken through Moses. So Moses empowers Joshua, a man who will understand and respect the difference between people, to succeed him and lead the people into a land of Israel. I was most struck by how God commands Moses to lay one hand on Joshua, but Moses uses both hands, filling him generously. Moses' actions inspire us to absolutely and wholeheartedly show similar generosity of spirit to that which he showed when laying both hands upon Joshua. The horrors of human suffering and death during COVID, as well as the most recent but not in any way isolated brutal and racist attacks on our brothers and sisters of color, have put many of us into crisis mode, myself included. As a 2.5-decade frontline internal medicine provider and medical educator in the Bronx, wrestling through these crises has given me some clarity. I see several truths and consequent actions that need to occur. I hope we can all unite, inspired, and see the uniqueness of every human being in our world and help repair it. Let's never go back to normal. Pirkei Avot teaches, it is not incumbent upon you to complete the work, but neither are you at liberty to desist from it. So just as Moses did not complete the work of bringing his people into the promised land, it's not our job to complete the task, but we all must begin in order to propel forward. Let's all work together to replace obstacles with opportunity and create a just and sustainable future. So here's my clarity. Number one, we cannot deny science. Our natural environment, our climate, and our alarmingly shrinking biodiverse species and their habitats are in need of drastic and immediate respect, protection, and rebuilding. The human contribution to climate change is real, and yes, I'm a mad scientist. Signed up or not, we are all in this and we all need to take action, not just talk, real action. There's some ironic justice in that COVID is rooted in human failure to heed scientific truth regarding our natural environment, and in particular, an unwise disrespect for other species and the sanctity of the habitats those species occupy. By clarity in action, we all must make a critical paradigm shift to live with rather than on this earth. We need to work very quickly toward a zero carbon footprint and conservation, which entails changes at both societal and personal levels. On the personal front, we can become vegetarians, use alternative sources of energy, work from home, and of course, recycle everything, just to name a few ideas. We should advocate for and support and create programs, policy, and legislation that will protect the health of our world and all its species. We need to carefully heed scientific truth. Number two, we cannot deny the many severe disparities that exist and that adversely affect human health. While COVID is ruthless, taking the lives of many younger, healthier, and richer patients, it has a special predilection for disadvantaged communities of color, not explained by population density nor even comorbidities. These communities are my patients. Structural racism and other social determinants of health, which tend to cluster with skin color, is showing its ugly hand and selectively striking out this community. Over half of people in some areas of the Bronx have tested positive for SARS-CoV-2 infection. In the US, Blacks are 13% of the population, yet 34% of the COVID deaths. But COVID is simply yet another in a very long list of afflictions besieging the Bronx and similar populations. Social disparities and structural racism are real and need to be eradicated. By clarity in action, we need to support and mentor underrepresented minorities in medical education and other professions. We need to develop, implement, and disseminate DRIP and integration curricular methods in anti-racism and social disparities for all level learners. And we need to listen, and we need to stand up and assert justice and change. White coats for Black lives. My brothers and sisters of color and patients clap for me. I and we can kneel for them. Systems need to stop killing my patients. And we need to be the change makers for social justice, just like the daughters of Zelophehad. Number three, we cannot deny the enormous human horror this continuing pandemic has brought. The body trailers I see studding the streets surrounding my hospital as I slick my hair back with hand sanitizer each morning certainly disavowed me of any and all notions that we, as signs to say, are healthcare heroes. Quite frankly, the label hero is estranging and isolating. Or, yes, a hero, no. It's a gruesome fight, one we both did and also did not sign up for. Didn't sign up to go into this war unprepared, without the tools we needed to help our patients survive and even protect ourselves. We didn't sign up for the trauma of bearing witness, but able to do little beyond that for dozens and dozens of patients every day who couldn't breathe, suffering cardiac arrests, dying isolated, alone, and frightened. Many never in a hospital before, knowing they're going to die, and of course we knew that too. We didn't sign up to die from this disease ourselves, but many of us have. Worse yet, we didn't sign up to bring this infection home to our loved ones, to see them suffer and possibly die. My clarity in action, we need to be much better prepared for this and work hard to beat this thing back. At work, inadequate personal protective equipment and lack of environmental controls, simple things like closed doors to rooms that contain ventilated COVID patients must be resolved. If these protections aren't available, it must mean for us no entry. We can't help our patients when we're dead. In public, for all of us, it means masks and social distancing and quarantining and isolating with indicated no exceptions ever, all of us, always. We need to live each day with our cups overflowing with compassion and emotional vulnerability. We need to live and work mindfully to be present, to preserve the dignity and beauty and essence of life in the midst of the horror. Like Moses, we need to show compassion and empathy, love and kindness, and display vision and generosity. Our challenge is for us to show the generosity of spirit that Moses shows when he lays both hands upon Joshua. Figuratively, this will take all of us laying both hands onto each other, healthcare workers included, because the losses in life are ours too, losses as humans, not heroes, as we all mourn in synchrony. And let's together, in action and in spirit, as Moses did, shepherd in a better and more sustainable new world. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Darlene, Yasher Koach, thank you. In this moment, you are my teacher. You are teacher to all of us. We feel privileged to have been present for these incredibly stirring words that call us to give of ourselves in self-sacrificing generosity, to be aware of the needs of the other who too often are invisible, and to hold one another spiritually and emotionally, even while keeping our physical distance through this most challenging time. Thank you. You know, there's a beautiful teaching that the rabbis offer in the Babylonian Talmud about that moment when Moses places his hands on Joshua. The Talmud reports that Moses in that instance was like one candle giving light to another candle. What makes the transfer of light from one candle to another noteworthy and special, said they, is that no light is lost of the former. Darlene, you've been our candle tonight. We know that come tomorrow, come next week, you'll have to go right back into those halls of Montefiore to continue doing the work that you are called to do. But like the candle, you are training up a new generation of medical leaders. And tonight you're giving the light of Torah and of learning, of science, real learning, truth, that we can carry forward brightly and boldly. So thank you for being our candle. We pledge to continue to inspire and give light to others with it. And I'm going to ask for the congregation now to pray for healing. Normally, I would ask you to share the names of your own loved ones who are in frail health, who need a little bit of a lift in spirit, who yearn to be released from the tsarim, the narrow places into which illness has constricted them. Tonight as well, I'm going to ask that you think of the patients, including and like those whom Darlene is treating. There are so many, tens of thousands in this country, hundreds of thousands, indeed millions across the world. And those who are most invisible to us are the ones who are bearing the brunt of the illness. So hold them in your hearts tonight as we pray Mishaberach. And I'm going to share the names of these from our extended WRT family before we sing. We think tonight of Doris Beck, Deborah Kapnick, Nicole Schusse, Amelia Austin, Joyce Schertzer, Leah Greenspan, Aviva Tzila Bat Esther Bela, Dan Sokoloff, Jeffrey Millman, Chava Bat Sara, Eliyahu Chaim Ben Fredel, Sheila Fried, Tanya Romanoff, Yitzchak Yona Ben May, Yaakov Hirsch Ben Rachel, Malka Tzipora Bas Rachel, Tamar Bat Malka, Heschel Meir Ben Davida Chana, and David Zev Ben Fruma Etel, together with all of the names of loved ones whom we are calling up in our hearts. The words from Misha Beirach are in front of us. Let's pray together. Misha Beirach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. At this time, if you would like to rise for Aleinu, you may do so. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. We pause at this moment in our service to remember loved ones who have died, taken from us in recent weeks or at this time of year in years gone by. As we remember them, we capture a little bit of the candlelight that they bestowed to us and shine it brightly out into the world. If you would like to rise in acknowledgement of mourning, we would ask those who first are within 7 days of remembrance to rise at this time. And now those who are within a first 30 days of remembering, please rise. If you are within a first year of having laid to rest your loved one, would you please rise? Those who are observing a yahrzeit tonight, please rise. Together, we stand either with our bodies, but always with our hearts, as we acknowledge those taken most recently: Paul Coburn, father of Eric Coburn; Donald Kay, brother of Harriet Sobel; Randy Guggenheimer Jr., father of Randy Guggenheimer; Paula Muchnick, great aunt of Cantor Danielle Rodnitsky; Andrew De Jesus, son of Evelyn and Mark Roller; Eugene Gendel, father of Benjamin Gendel and ex-husband of Michelle Smith; Bernard S. Goldstein, father of Joyce Podolak, Irene Moore Corman, and Mark Goldstein; and Rita Benowich, mother of Len Benowich; and those the anniversary of whose death we remember tonight: Sylvia Abelson, Joan Arno, Patricia Barad, Marvin Breyer, Carol Brettschneider, Jerome Dagan, Beth Lisa Feldman, Eric Finkelstein, Henry Foreman, Irving Franklin, Peter Gilman, Samuel Graff, Alice Hart, Lynn Herbert, Ethel Heyer, Gertrude Hahn, Vivian Kaplan, Marvin D. Kenigsberg, Julius Lewin, Murray Lichtenberg, Muriel Liebman, Jean Littman, John Mayhew, Ira Mendel, Jean Menlo, Andrea Beth Meyerson, Melvin Nelson, Edith Oken, Matthew Tashik, Aaron Rosand, Stephen Ross, Rebecca Rubner, Anita Saltz, Isaac Schreier, Isidore Schuster, Anita Serper, Murray Shapiro, Maxwell Schmerler, Seymour Solomon, Ira Spear, Henry Sturman, Max Wallace, Julia Weinberg, Richard Weisberg, Israel Wilder, Laura Wise, and Sarah Goldman Wollens. If you would like to add a personal name to our commemoration, or if I have inadvertently mispronounced a loved one's name, kindly speak your names at this time. And together we will speak the words that, through their repetition, have linked the generations, each to each. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam alamei almaya, yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shemei d'kudesha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. V'imru, v'imru amen, ve'imru amen. So just a few announcements before we conclude our service. Tomorrow morning, please join us for one of two wonderful opportunities to pray and celebrate Shabbat with Westchester Reform Temple. At 9:30, we will gather for Torah study with our wonderful intern, Ariel Milan Polisar, who is celebrating a birthday today. So our congregation wishes our intern, Ariel, a very happy birthday. Yom Huledet Sameach, Ariel. She'll be leading us tomorrow morning. 9:30, we get into the Zoom room, we schmooze a little bit, and we start studying the parasha by 9:45, concluding at 11. And overlapping a little bit, Cantor Rodnitsky and I at 10 o'clock will be leading our summer 10:10? 10:30, oh, thank you. Yeah, okay, so Cantor is telling me that it's 10:30 a.m. We'll be leading a family-friendly summer Shabbat service, and we would love for you to join us. We'll be going back into the parasha and exploring the very passage that we heard about tonight from Darlene. Once again, I know that I speak for not just clergy, but the entire congregation in expressing our gratitude for having been present, for your words tonight, Darlene. Thank you so much for I know that you're in the room with us, so I'm going to just put you back on screen for half a second. Here we are. And to you, we extend a heartfelt Yasher Koach. We look forward to our Devar Torah next Friday night, which will be offered by our congregant, Mike Rahimi. So please join us for Shabbat next week as well, because this is something that happens each and every week. So thank you once again. Cantor, we're going to sing a little bit of Kiddush and Motzi. Oh, I want to extend a special Mazel Tov as well to Emma Meskin and her family. Emma will be celebrating a Bat Mitzvah tomorrow at Westchester Reform Temple. So Mazel Tov to you, Emma. And we're going to sing a little Kiddush and Motzi. Once again, Darlene, thank you so much for being with us. I'm going to put you right back where you were before. You're still with us. You're just not on screen. Thank you. And we're going to share these words of Kiddush. Please join us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh Zecher letziat Mitzrayim, Kivanu v'acharta, V'yotanu kidashta, Mikol ha'amim, V'shabbat kodshecha, V'ahava uvratzon, Hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh, HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. If you are sharing your quarantine with somebody whom you know, love, trust, and want to put your arm around that person, we encourage it. I'm doing it like this. It's been so nice for me to lead my first ever Shabbat service with Danielle, with Cantor Danielle Rodnitsky. Danielle, Shabbat Shalom to you. You can unmute yourself. We have a
Shabbat
beautiful
Shalom.
challah. Shabbat Shalom. We have a beautiful challah. Let's make motzi, and then Danielle will lead us in our concluding song. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz
Amen.
B'te'avon. Shabbat Shalom. Cantor Rodnitsky, how are we ending our service tonight?
Inspired by Darlene and her incredibly moving and important Devar Torah, we're going to sing Lo Alecha Hamlacha Ligmor. It's not up to us to finish the work, but neither are we free to desist from it.
Shabbat Shalom.